I got a call from Babacar Mbo, who's the senior director to Dr. Willie Logan. And I ended up just learning a lot this weekend about what 10 North Group is doing. But 10 North Group, amongst being a community development organization and financial assistance and just a wealth of resources for the community of Okwalaka, community garden, pantry, all kinds of things. They're also insisting that art be a part of that for the community, for the kids, art making classes, workshops, all that stuff. And then they have this gallery space, which is the ARC at 675 Alibaba Avenue. I hadn't even seen the place when they contacted me about the opportunity to curate, but I really was hungry for another artistic endeavor. So taking the position at Brandeis took me away from SAIC, which is the School of the Art Institute in Chicago, which I was happy to make that transition, but sad to leave behind, like having art be like an official part of my job. Um, and they're working on that here at Brandeis. They're very interested in that part of what I do, but it's a different place. It's not an art school, you know. So Dr. Logan and Babacar were traveling. They've been traveling the world, Africa, Cuba, looking for acquisitions for the permanent collection that they have been acquiring at the Arc. Over, I hear over 100 pieces they have already, and decided that they needed to do something to honor Women's History Month, and didn't know who they would get, knew that there wasn't a whole lot of time to be able to launch a show. And Babacar thought of me. He's a longtime friend. He was the director of MoCA after Bonnie went to MOA. And we worked together briefly because it was right at the time that I was leaving or had gone off to Penn State. So I was kind of working with him remotely, but I and Jill were so passionate about women on the rise and what was going to happen to women on the rise that we were just very much involved with campaigning on behalf of MoCA to for them to keep women on the rise. And they were going through their own drama with their permanent collection. So we became friends with Babacar, and he and I have just stayed friends for throughout the years. We check in every once in a while, and him and his partner, Dr. Carol Boyce Davies, they always take good care of me when I'm in town. So, you know, different projects have come up over the years, but not, I mean, maybe not necessarily the right fit. And he happened to call me at a moment where I was desperate for some type of artistic outlet. I got to do something else, whether it's a part-time job. I just applied for a job at the Boston Ballet. I want to teach dance. I want to do something because I need it. I need the extra money. And also I need to leaving Penn State, there's a void of missing the live music scene. It really was a big part of my creative process. And that's why I'm starting to play the ukulele, and I sing a lot on my own, but it's been isolating being in a new place and in a new state and in a new community. So he called me and I almost like had my hand on the phone saying the line I do in the performance piece, Black woman, that was him. I called for a specific reason. Do you want to curate a show? And I was like, yes. And I knew it would be my first solo curation. I was looking for that kind of like next big step. I was hoping it, honestly, I was hoping it would be the opportunity for a solo show of my artwork. And I think that's coming. But this was also like equally as awesome. Like in the moment, I'm like, I am a curator and I'm a good one. A lot of really good artists, when I call upon them, they're like, whatever you're doing, I want to be a part of. So I wanted to be able to showcase that. And I said yes, probably at a very tense and challenging time because I'm also still teaching right now. but I just had to do it. Like I couldn't say no to this. And it's a very big part of my scholarship. Genius species came about through this performance writing that I did on behalf of saying yes to doing the show. Um, I've been interested in genius study. I'm a somewhat of a mentee of Dr. Ruth Nicole Brown, who does work on the Black Girl Genius through her events, Black Girl Genius Week. I was absolutely overwhelmed and fascinated by National Geographic naming Aretha Franklin a genius in their third season of the Genius series after Albert Einstein and Pablo Picasso. So I watched it. I taught it in my class that I taught last spring, Black Girlhood Sexual Politics. We watched some of it in the class and just were very intrigued by talking about what it is to be a genius, literally, figuratively, imaginatively, whatever you know want to say, and then thinking about someone like Aretha Franklin, who I said earlier is a vocalist. She's much more than a vocalist. She's a songwriter. She plays the piano. She was learning classical piano towards the end of her life, like genius level skills, who will never be forgotten. Um, so it came about in that performance piece that apparently I wanted to see some artwork and put some visual study together on what this meant. I was visualizing certain works I had seen of friends and colleagues, thinking how it would go together. I said for a lot of the press, like what I initially did was I wrote down a list of every artist I know on a legal pad, even people that don't even quite know me, that are famous, that might not even reach back if I reach out to them. Um, and then when I was writing this piece, it was kind of forming in my mind through these different artists and pieces that I'd seen what would like make a room and what would make an experience, especially for Black women and Black girls visiting the show, for the community of Opalaka, for the youth of Opalaka. So this is what came together. I wrote the piece, and what I did was I sent an email to everybody because I told you I don't got a whole lot of time to sit down with the computer. I sent an email to everybody with the abstract, and I said, "Are you in?" That's it. That was the whole email. Are you in? And a link to the abstract. And everybody said yes. Even there were two artists that couldn't be here, one due to illness and another is in West Africa right now. And she created up her piece, she got it down to Miami, and it's an amazing show. Like I just flew in. I got in like 2 o'clock this morning, so like I'm still kind of reeling and overwhelmed from the weekend. But I'm really proud of myself and the artists that came together to pull this off.